Our Father, who art in a New Hampshire barn, Alexander Cademan Carp be thy name. Thy Q4 and come. And Skynet, about to take over the world. Give us this quarter many juicy commercial contracts. Forgive the bad bears as we forgive the SBC. And lead us not into the low 12s, but deliver us double-digit year-over-year growth with revenues as strong as our Airbuses, so we can please fly once again. Give us the tendies. Give us the results. Give us the Lambos. Give us the faith. Give us the freedom to believe that carp and teal can take us to the moon. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Shout out to this little prayer that Cameron sent me on Twitter. I mentioned him before. I'll link his Twitter in the description. He's a funny guy. Look, man, I'm excited. Q4 earnings are tomorrow. Be here 7 a.m. Eastern on this channel. We're live streaming the whole thing. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be here with Sachin Sharma, private equity guy, SpaceX investor, geophysicist, been consulting for the past 25 years. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands he has in Palantir, and Kris Patel. You guys probably know Kris Patel. He's putting out some decent content on Palantir. It's going to be a really, really fun morning, especially if earnings are good. So this is the first live stream I'm going to be doing on this channel. By 7 a.m., we're going to have numbers. So for the first hour from 7 to 8 a.m., before they start the live call where we get to see like the presentation and we get to see Carp talk and we get to hear shareholder questions, me, Sachin, and Kris are going to analyze everything that's going down with the numbers, and we're going to see, are these numbers good, are these numbers bad, how do we think about these numbers? And I want you to be here. This channel is primarily a channel for myself and my thoughts on Palantir. That's one of the main stocks I cover. This is the first live stream I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be live streaming daily every morning starting in March. This is the first time we're trying it out. I just bought some gear last night to hook up this camera right here, so it's not going to be a crappy webcam on the live stream. So hopefully it turns out really good, and like the quality is just like crisp, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So what I'm saying is, because I spent a bunch of money yesterday on Amazon, you guys have to show up. Like you literally have to show up. Now I'm guilting you into showing up tomorrow because I just spent so much money on Amazon getting all these stupid cords to make this happen. But it's going to be lit. It's going to look nice. And now you have to show up. So it's going to be really, really fun. The live stream will be saved afterwards for those who want to watch it and can't make it. But there's nothing like a live event. Live events still just have so much energy to them because it's like happening live, right? You're reacting live. Everything's going real time live. Now, what are we expecting for earnings? Earnings is going to be fun. I don't know. I mean, last quarter, I was going through the Q3 presentation last night. They added like 34 commercial customers. They grew 103% commercial revenue year over year. I mean, they had some phenomenal numbers. They beat earnings by like 8 million, 7 million bucks. Now, obviously, that time in November, the whole market was getting ready to crash. Like, no one knew it, but it was getting ready. And I had loaded up so much at $25.37 the day before. Literally, I was at my client. I was working with a client, and I was just, they know about stocks, so we were just talking about it. And they were like, man, you should just buy it if you're excited for earnings. And I was just like, you know what? Screw it. $3,000. Boom. Popped in. Next day, drops to 22. I'm like, well, $3 more. Boom. Popped in. Drops to 18 over the next 2 weeks. I'm like, well, I am holding the bag. And I was like, all right, here we go. But I have so much faith and potential in the company that like it just doesn't faze me. And I mentioned this on other videos. Like I just don't care. Most institutions have an average of around 22, even though with the video I put out today about how these institutions average down, some institutions buying 600% more shares during this time when it was dropping. I think a lot of institutions are averaging down. So from what I saw in Q3 in the presentation, I think Q4 can be pretty phenomenal. And they're estimating $418 million of revenue, right? That's their earnings. That's their earnings guidance. And if they get that, they would be averaging about $1.5 billion in revenue for the year, which is phenomenal for a company that just went public after a year. I mean, that's amazing. Now, Sachin has said if they can get to 450, we're at a different level, because if they can, they're going to hit 418, right? They're going to grow 30% year over year. That's granted. If they can get to 440, 439, 446 million, that's where I think the market's going to react in a more aggressive way. Now, if they don't meet earnings, the market's definitely going to crash them. I think we can get to 10 just as easily as I think we can get to 20 tomorrow. Like, I genuinely think that's what can happen. But given the market's starting to rally a little bit over the past couple of days, even if we don't get or have that good of earnings, I don't know how much that crashes us, because again, we're already down so much. I mean, we got to the 14s, maybe we go back down to 12 if earnings is just not that good, but I don't know how much lower it can necessarily go. I mean, it could go to 10 again, but they would have to do really bad on earnings. Like, they would have to like really answer questions in a row. They would have to say something. Like, to me, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to unveil some new products or some new ideas. I think they're going to have a really good presentation. Karp is on the call for the first time in a long time, so he's going to be talking, not just Sham. And we know how Karp is when he talks. He's able to sort of instill a little bit more confidence, able to answer questions a little bit more definitively. So at that point, I think if they can get to that 430 million in revenue, I think that's a success. You know, that's beating the 418 guidance that they suggested. Analysts are estimating 402, 403 million. So if they can get there, that's amazing to me. Like, just getting to 425, 430 is great. It keeps us stable in a very unstable market. And if they get to 440, 450, I think it's gonna have some fun. Now, if it goes below that, which I don't think is going to happen, because I also mentioned this in another video, what data analytics firm can't measure out their own revenue? Like, that makes going below 418 makes zero sense to me. Like, because like, what do you, like, you can't measure your own revenue that you're going to get. You're a data analytics company. So I don't think we're going to miss on the revenue number. We might miss on some other numbers in terms of earnings per share based upon how wacky the math comes out. There's some SPAC stuff, even though I talked to Sachin, the SPAC stuff and the unrealized losses we have shouldn't necessarily affect the earnings per shares at all. So I think we're good on that, but we'll talk about that on the call as well. So if we can get to 425, 430, I think it's going to be fun. If we get above that, I think it's going to be really fun. And we may see a potential big upside or downside based upon how the market interprets it. The key thing for me is I care a little bit less about the numbers. I know I was talking about the numbers a lot, but that's just because we're analyzing it. I care less about the numbers. I care more about the presentation. What are they going to say? What is the product roadmap? What are some new innovations that you're coming out with? They just released the annual shareholder letter 3 days before earnings, in a very esoteric, cryptic way. I mean, this earnings thing, it was direct, but it was cryptic. It was basically saying, screw all the big tech companies, we're going to change the world. And it was also said it in this very unique philosophical way. And then on top of that, today, they just released a video of Karp speaking for 15 minutes in German about their strategy. And I haven't been able to watch it yet, but the stuff that my friends are telling me that are internet, and some of the OG friends that I have on like Palantir Twitter, they're like, Karp is talking about like a potential phone consumer product or something, some crazy stuff. I'll analyze that soon, but like, why would you put out an interview 2 days before earnings, this crazy love letter on Valentine's Day, shareholders annual letter 3 days before earnings, to have a really crappy earnings? Like, that to me is the part where I don't get. I don't think you're putting out a letter and a video of your CEO, both things from the CEO, right? The video is the CEO talking and the letter is the CEO addressing all the shareholders, to have a really bad earnings. Like, are you going to do all that to cover up for bad earnings? I don't think that's going to happen, right? So it'll be exciting to see, because no one really knows, but the hints they're dropping going into earnings is fun. It's exciting to kind of see what they're going to be able to do. And me, Sachin, and Kris are going to break everything down. And when the call happens, we're going to break down the call as well. The cool thing is, actually, my client called off some of the engagements we had this week. So I'm literally free the whole day on Thursday. So I might live stream this for like 3-4 hours. Like, I've got the entire day free to do this. So it's going to be really fun, really exciting. Link for the video is going to be in the description. Please come through, check it out. It's going to be super, super fun. Can't wait to have you there. First live stream of this channel forever. It means so much to the OG subscribers that come and check it out, even if you can only show up for a little bit. And it means the world for me if you do show up and check it out. So thank you guys for watching. Looking forward to it. Earnings is going to be fun. It'll be a fun event, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if we can get some good numbers. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.